Hey all, this is Dave, and today's big hairy idea is getting rid of your fluff. So we're right now in the midst of Passover cleaning. In fact, at the moment, as I'm recording this video, we've got a giant jug of water upstairs that is coming to a boil that we're going to use to clean off our counters, which is just the latest step that we've taken to clean our house to get rid of the chametz. What is chametz? In essence, chametz is bread and bread derivatives. And during Passover, we don't eat these things. Why? Because when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, they didn't have time to fully bake their bread. They didn't have time to let the bread rise. So they just had to make it really quick and bake it really quick. And they came out with these flat cakes called matzahs. And so that's what we eat during the week of Passover. But what's fascinating about matzah, if you look at the ingredients, it's really no different than the bread. In our house, I bake sourdough. And the sourdough is just composed of flour and water. And the flour and water is what the matzahs are composed of. So what's the difference between the bread we're not allowed to eat and the matzah that we are allowed to eat? It's really just, it's the rising. And it's really just time. The sourdough just comes when it takes the natural yeast out of the air and it brings this rising process that takes the bread and it makes it from something flat to something nice and squishy, something that's got lots of fluff in it. But matzah is kind of bread at its very essence, its very core, with nothing special. It's just stripped down to its most basics. And I think that's really what Passover is about. And specifically, I think even more so than Passover is the week before Passover. This week as we're preparing for Passover, kind of getting rid of everything that is not at its most basic core, essential level. We're just getting that out of our life. We're trying to say, okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. We're getting rid of our nice dishes. We're putting them away. We're pulling out our Passover dishes, which tend to be a lot more basic. We're getting rid of a lot of different things. We're putting everything to the side, and our whole life becomes a much more stripped down version as we kind of get down to the essence in Passover. Passover really becomes not about, there's not much that you do. There's not so many activities. There's not that much. It's just sitting around and telling the story and really trying to relate to our core. Now, during the week of Passover, I'm also going to get rid of a whole bunch of other fluff. I'm not going to be working my normal schedule. I'm not going to be writing my normal schedule because it's a time to get down to that very essence. So as we're going through our house and we're getting rid of all of our chametz, all of our fluff, it's a time to be looking at our lives too and saying, okay, what am I attaching to? What do I still have that is not really essential, that is not part of my real core? Maybe this is the week to look at that and say, you know what? I don't need this right now. This is just a distraction for me. And how can I really get rid of these distractions so I can really get back to my essence? Take care.